Hello, thank you everyone for joining us for some sprints tonight, whether they are reading, productivity or writing or whatever you're planning to do, sprints. I'm joined by three absolutely lovely writer friends of mine, some of whom I've met in real life, some of whom I've not managed yet. I think, Alex, we missed each other by about 2 days, didn't we, in Kent, doing an event in the same bookshop.
We did, we were ships in the night.
Yeah, but I think we'll manage it one day, I'm sure. So I'll just go around and introduce you all, and then we'll have a chat about what you're planning to do in the sprints tonight. So I've got no idea where you'll turn up on screen. It always seems to do this really randomly. So I'm just going to say Dawn, person with the Christmas hat on, for those who aren't initiated. I think it does come up your name on screen. Dawn is the author of Deliciously and Terrifying. So you can see how tired I am to begin with already. I'm going to start again. Deliciously Terrifying YA books, The Dead House, and depending on the country you're in, Creeper Man or And the Trees Crept In, Teeth in the Mist, and then the upcoming Teeth in the Mist 2. Is that the next one from you, Dawn?
Yep.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Title to be revealed in early 2023.
Oh, that's so exciting. I can't wait. And then Alex is the author of spooky middle grade books, which have ghosts and, yay, there they are, Rules for Vampires, and the sequel. Go on, show us.
I was just looking at those today. That's wild. I can't believe I spaced that you were the author.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, it's me. I know, here to cause loads of trouble. Thank you for having me.
They're the loveliest books. They are spooky and mischievous and fun and like have a historical vibe, just with like lots of creepy ghost vampire hijinks. So thank you, Alex, for joining us. And then Aislinn, who I called Aislinn for like the first year that I knew you. I'm still not over that. Sorry about that, Aislinn. I think actually the three of you got the hardest surnames to pronounce as well out of any authors I've had them together. So feel free to mock me when I say those wrong at various points. So Aislinn is the author of Big Bad Me, which is her debut novel that came out early this year and is about werewolves and vampires, and it's sort of a very Buffy feeling mystery with found family and again lots of things like hijinks between vampires and various creatures. So definitely a theme between the three of us. Because would you say, Dawn, Teeth in the Mist is definitely vampires, or is it like vampires if you perceive it to vampires? Because I don't know whether I just want it to be vampires or if it actually is them.
So it's witches, but it's also a vampire origin story.
Yes.
And the second book is vampires. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, we do all have this in common. Like maybe we can start there before we talk about what we're going to read. Like, why vampires? Alex, how about you? I think I've asked you this question before, but feel free to share. Like, why have we all decided to do this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure that I've said this to you before, but I have a theory that vampires are the coolest iconic horror monster. And I think it is because, like, you know, not only do they come with all these cool powers, but they also kind of have the weaknesses as well, you know, which I think makes them particularly compelling.
Yeah, I remember having this conversation.
That's my yes, I think we definitely have. We've been and put our heads together before and kind of discussed the allure of the vampire. For sure.
They're the perfect creature, aren't they? Like I was trying to explain this to my dad, and I was like, use Superman as the example that Superman is only interesting because of kryptonite. If Superman could do absolutely everything and was completely limitless, it would be boring. And that's why I like Smallville and stuff like that, because he has stuff that can mess with him and like give him weaknesses. So how about you, Dawn? Is there a particular reason that you're drawn to vampires as well?
For me, it's completely the brooding emo type of vampire, the true gothic, like sad boy vampire that gets me. Like the Anne Rice vampire for me. It's just like, oh, so sad, need comfort, but don't kill.
Okay, so are you more of a Louis then, or a Lestat, and like Stefan or Damon?
Do you know what the thing is? I love Lestat.
Yeah.
And I loved Louis until a point, and eventually I was just like, oh God, stop whining.
Yeah.
But I do love them both, but I think I'm probably a Lestat girl.
Okay.
I do like a bad boy. But also Lestat in the Vampire Lestat does have a slight Louis edge to him.
Yeah.
In some of the books, so yeah. I also love The Only Lovers Left Alive, that film. The sort of the nature of eternity, like just the idea of that and loneliness. Just gets me in the feels.
Yeah, I think they are like sad and beautiful creatures, aren't they, at the same time?
Yeah, and but then you've got Spike, and I'm like, oh, Daddy.
I mean, obviously. Yeah,
You get
I
it.
got.
You get it.
Yeah, I do. I got called out by William Ritter, who wrote the Spike book the other day. I put a picture of my Buffy shelf up, and he was like, "Where's mine?" I was like, "Oh, that's embarrassing. Maybe I should put it on that." I do have it. Like, I'd literally just post about it, and I've not put it on the Buffy shelf yet. And it looks very
I
good.
love myself Jared as well. Can't lie. So
Thanks. I mean, and Aislinn, to you, you have some. I'm not going to spoil it, but you have some interesting vampires in your book as well.
I do,
what is
yeah. And I don't
what
think
is
it's a
it?
spoiler to say there's vampires in my book because
Yeah, I know. I'm just not going to say who they
told a
are.
mistake on the cover. So we were touring with that actually when we were choosing the book cover. And I said, look, there's going to be vampires. Everyone's going to guess there's vampires by about like the 6th chapter. I don't reveal it until later. I was like, no, just give her a stake. People like vampires. It's, I like them because they're probably the most human of the monsters, and you can do so much with them because, well, I did a twist on werewolves as well, but in general, like werewolves are sort of out of control and can't help themselves. And that's a lot of monsters. With vampires, they know what they're doing. They're self-aware, and you can have the choice of, well, are they evil? Are they good but can't control themselves? Are they like vegetarian like the Cullens? Or, and everybody knows them. They've been around so long that you can just play around and sort within limits, make up your own rules. So they're a lot of fun to do. And I think it's just, there's so much more scope because you don't have to explain what they are compared to other monsters if you're introducing them. So I don't know. I think.
Yeah, I definitely haven't done with vampires. I think I do want to write more things because there's so many interesting angles you can take. And it's like you said about werewolves as well. I used to think werewolves were less fun than vampires because they're so human part of the time. And so not. But then I wrote a werewolf short story, and not long after that read your book. I was like, oh, I like werewolves now. Oh,
I love how it's like a contest.
Yeah.
You're either vampires or you're werewolves.
Yeah, I was really torn because they asked me to write this creature short. Well, I was like, I entered a thing for horror tubers to write a creature short story. And it's like, I can't do vampires because everyone will expect me to do that. I'll just do werewolves. So it was like that, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I thought, oh, maybe I need to write a werewolf book as well. So. Something I never thought I would say.
With the mythology as well.
Yeah.
You can change it up.
Yeah. I mean, they have ended up seeping into a few things that I've written since then. Like, I can't stop now. I do blame you in part for that, Aislinn, because like the short story started it off, and then like I read your book and I was like, oh, maybe I need to rewatch and reread Twilight and see how I feel if I'm still Team Vampire, if the werewolves kind of
need werewolves and Mina.
Yeah, well. Not necessarily in these books, but maybe maybe I might be putting some werewolves in something I'm working on. I mean, there's always possibility for some werewolves. I'm going to go to the comments now before I say something I'm going to regret. A couple of people have commented. It's like, don't you, Dawn? It's like, what am I allowed to say? I mean, all of us do, don't we? Oh, thank you. I am ready. I'm assuming you're here by now, Stephen. I'm guessing you wrote that earlier, but thank you for coming. Merry Christmas. Dawn has got us in the Christmas spirit with her hat. I feel a little bit like I should have tried harder. Hi, Libby. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I mean, I feel like the cramming is important and the book can be a reward. That sounds good. I mean, I think I would have been better at studying when I was at uni if I'd done sprints. I was one of those people who just like trawled through it all day. And I think sprints is a good way, isn't it, to like focus.
Yeah.
Focus, have a little break, and move on. So, how about the three of you?
The family upstairs.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, it's is it an adult thriller? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good title. So, how about the three of you, Aislinn? Do you want to let us know what you're planning to do in the sprints tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of reading. I got very lucky and have on my laptop a copy of Game Over Girl by Naomi Gibson, which I've been dying to read for basically since I finished her first book, Every Line of You. I've just been dying to read it. So I apparently do have a physical arc coming, but with the postal strikes it's been delayed. So
yeah,
I got to turn me on the an e-copy, and I'm just going to read it off my computer for the first while, and then if I can tear myself away, which is unlikely, I have a little bit of PR stuff to do for my publisher that I've been dragging my heels on, but yeah, this will motivate me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping I might get a bit of this read, but I'm planning to edit. I seem to be in an endless spiral of edit, write at the moment. I really want to finish this book by the end of the year. I don't know whether I'm going to finish it, but by January, I'm now giving myself early January. I keep pushing the goalposts a little bit. How about you, Alex? Are you planning to read, write, or something else?
Super excited actually because I'm drafting.
Yay.
I am. Yes, yeah, I know, a fresh new draft. It's actually not vampires as well. It's something else. So very, very exciting. So it's kind of like my next thing. We haven't even announced it yet. So, you know, I need to kind of not get too excited and just like blurt. You know, if you see me like mute my microphone and start like talking and like going like this in my hands, then you know what's happened.
Don't do that to us. That's so unfair. I was going to ask you more about it then, and I thought, no, I'm not going to, because I know what it's like when you really want to say it and you just can't.
Yeah.
So.
What we'll do, I will give you all of my author secrets when I finally get to see you for a cup of tea in person.
Okay.
And I will tell you everything.
Deal. When can we do that? I want to arrange like right now. Or, you know, after this, when we're no longer live, the bit where it isn't being broadcast, you could just spill a few beers. That always happens. I get the best stuff like before and after interviewing people. It's like, oh, the bit that nobody will know about for probably 2 years or something like that. That's just the way it works, isn't it? Like I remember talking to you about Teeth in the Mist too, Dawn. Like I can't remember.
I've told you the title, haven't I? Like in private.
Yeah, I think you have. I'm not.
I almost said it.
Yeah, I know. Don't. I'm really carefully saying Teeth in the Mist 2.
I'm excited about that. I should be working on that actually. I mean, I could in theory, but nah. I'm gonna set up January of 2023 in my bullet journal.
Oh, I love seeing your progress through those. It's so soothing. I kind of want to watch you do it as opposed to actually do what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm going to resist.
Edits are so never-ending, aren't they?
Yeah, I did a thing where I realised I think I've got about 15,000 words left to write, and I thought I can't actually finish it without editing it because I've done some things that I need to take back before I can actually make sense of the ending. And then I realised that I'd made another mess, so I've had to like do a double edit. I realised there's a slight timeline issue that I just couldn't go on once I'd realised it was there. I was like, I can't actually make the ending make sense now.
See, I've done that so many times that now I have to do a chapter by chapter summary, especially with like multiple timelines. I just can't do it without it. And even then I make mistakes and have to go back.
See, I have done that this time. I've written one as I've gone along and kind of used it to plan as well. So I've planned ahead chapter by chapter, but there's still bits where I'm like, okay, so 3 things happened that day, and then I go on to the next day, and then I go back to the original day, and I was like, no, why? So I'm just having, you know, that I hate the bit of actually moving scenes. It makes me feel really nervous because it's that whole cut, paste somewhere else. Don't forget that you've cut, and like leave your words forever in limbo. It's just really upsetting.
I've got a cut file. I have like my document on the left and the cut file here, and I paste just in case.
Yeah, I tend to do that
for that as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't ever, you know, get rid of the stuff actually that I wrote in the first draft of this one that was cut and then made it into the final the final draft. So it's worth hanging on to every word like a hoarder.
Absolutely.
Hoard those words like Smaug on top of his pile of gold.
And I'd rather have a document full of rubbish than lose it.
Yeah, and future books as well. If you're going to write sequels, it might be that like I took 2 whole characters out of book 2, and I was like, you know, book 3, assuming that comes around. There were characters I really liked, and I was just like, I can't get rid of them. They don't fit in this book, but I'm not deleting them. Like I really want them. I think you'll appreciate them, Dawn. There's like an interview with the vampire nod to these 2 characters.
Oh,
I really liked them, but they just didn't fit. I hate it when you have an idea and you're like, it doesn't fit in this book. Why?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to jump through a couple more comments. Oh, you are watching, Stephen. Hello. Thank you. I can never tell when people put comments on earlier. I'm like talking to them as if they're there and then like they're not responding. So I'm glad you did respond. Thank you. Hi. Thank you, Naomi. Are you sprinting along with us, or are you just offering? I mean, if you want to come on screen, feel free. People are always terrified when I say that. It's like, no, I'm in my pajamas or whatever.
Yeah, I look like this right now.
Yeah, I know Naomi's in a freezing caravan too, I think, right now, possibly. So
Really?
she posted earlier about the fun of being in these low temperatures. And I was working in the house. Hi, Lizzie. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have more spooky chats for you. So good job, Lizzie's here. She's like been in charge of my best spooky recommendations for this year. It's all the things I really loved. And like Lizzie told me to read them. I think it might be a good time to go to a sprint. So I'm going to mark where we go up to in the comments so that I don't get lost. I think we will do 40 minutes and then 40 minutes, and then I'll probably do 30 at the end. So if you get fed up or tired or bored, feel free, the three of you, to kind of go whenever you feel like it. In case you've forgotten, there's a private chat for us too if you want to chat. And I'm just trying to think of anything else I've forgotten to tell you. I'm sure you'll tell me after this, but if not. But yeah, I'll pop the kitty on as well. Fair warning, it will meow loudly in 40 minutes. I'll mute you all.
First time.
But if you
I was like,
wanna mute...
what is
Oh,
that?
I know. Apparently cats don't like it, so I'm really sorry if you have a cat and it makes your cat jump. But it's the only
Literally
thing I can
right
work
there.
with now. No, I'm so used to it. I just need the kitty to be able to function now. So I'm sorry anybody who doesn't like it, but I do. So I'm going to put the 40-minute timer on, and we will see you on the other side. Hello, welcome back. I was hovering over the kitty and I still did a little flinch. It never changes.
It got me.
Yeah, me
So I was
too.
muted and unmuted you there, Aislinn. I think I've sorted it all now. So how did we all do? How did it go?
Yeah.
Alex,
Good.
do you want to start? Was it good?
Yeah. So I have been doing a little bit more of my chapter 5. It's one of those where I don't know if you guys get this, but I've had a little break from it because of the stuff that I've been doing in schools for vampires, and thus when I've been trying to get back into my writing again, I've had this empty page that's been like staring back at me. You know, when like you stare into the void and then it stares back at you. So I've been really struggling to get started. So I'm glad that I seem to finally have managed
Yay.
to get over that speed bump. So I'm really happy with that. I haven't done much. I have about 400 words.
That's good. I'd be happy with that.
It's all right.
Yay.
That's all right. That's all right. We're okay.
440 minutes is good.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
hard.
you.
Time away
Cheers,
is really
videos.
difficult. I have to write every day, like even a little bit. Otherwise, I just completely lose. And I think it's my memory. Like I literally forget what I'm writing, and I can't keep it all in my head if I'm not really focusing. I think that's why I have to go back and edit too, because I just need to refresh my memory all the time with what I'm writing. I can't just plow ahead and write a draft because it takes me so long to write a draft. I'd have forgotten the beginning by the ending. But how about you,
I'm the
Dawn?
same.
How did your spread go?
Good. I've got this so far.
Oh,
and my
nice.
alarm's
Yeah.
gone. Sorry. Yeah, so I've got that so far. I'm just filling in my
I love
quote
it.
with the little rubber stamps, which is like every stamp one at a
Oh my
time.
God.
But it looks so pretty in the end.
It does.
I won't
bet that's
use my
stressful though.
planner otherwise.
Well,
it's
do you
fine.
find that you like are worried about making mistakes when you do stuff like that, or can
Do you know
handle
what?
it if you do?
I should have I knew this. I should have done it on like a scrap of paper and then stuck that in for the perfect spacing. But I just thought, screw it. I'm just gonna go, and if it's wrong, it's wonky, then it's just uniquely mine. It's fine. So I was a devil may care attitude tonight, I think.
Oh no, I like that. I wish I was more like that. I even if I'm writing something in a notebook and I make an error, if it's meant to be like a draft, I'm like, oh no, cross it out.
I know.
really
It
don't
depends
like
on the day.
Yeah. That was very pretty though. That's definitely good use of time. Very relaxing.
I mean, I don't use my planner unless it's beautiful. So, and also it's the perfect procrastination because, like I said, I should be editing. Am I though? Am I going to spend hours doing this instead? Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I mean, I feel like that's all part of the writing process, isn't it? You're
Yeah.
letting stuff simmer while you're doing that.
Absolutely. Let's go with that.
How about you, Aislinn? How did your 40 minutes go?
So fast. It's such a good book. Anyone who's just joined, I'm reading Game of a Girl by Naomi Gibson, and I'm 5.5 chapters in, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to tear myself away and do the work.
I don't think you should. I feel like you should just keep reading Naomi's book. My bookmark's fallen out disappointingly, so I can't even tell you where I'm up to. I feel like that might have been a toddler involved there. Nathan's discovered bookmarks, and his favourite thing to do is to just lean in and pull them out of my book and be like, Mummy, that's a pretty bookmark. I'm like,
Oh no.
yeah, it is. You don't understand how important it is what you just did. But... and he quite likes bending them too, and I've got all these nice like vampire ones from A Strange Dream, are they called? They make really cool like horror movie ones. And yeah, I'm trying to teach him the art of the bookmark, but picture marks don't require a bookmark. So.
It's true.
You know,
my soul just broke.
It's really interesting, actually, that you've mentioned bookmarks, because I did spot a Rules for Vampires bookmark on eBay that someone had put on eBay for £3. Yeah,
wow,
couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, clearly I've missed a trick. You know, I need to be making my fortune in bookmarks.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Also,
is that your doggy?
Yes, he's back. Hello. He's come to join us. Hi.
I don't know how to wave at the dog, but I'm gonna go with that. It's nice
he's
to have a writing
ridiculous.
buddy.
Yeah, nice to have a little writing bud.
I got my
Absolutely.
Fawny here, which she's not going to be impressed, but
Oh my god.
she's got beautiful eyes. But she doesn't
That's
like
like the
being
most
held very
you
much.
pet. She's
The
such a
perfect cat.
like the perfect
She's
Millie.
my familiar.
Yeah.
She's got a little bed on the side of my desk, so the left side of my desk I can't use because it's hers. I'm sorry. Oh, she's looking at me like I betrayed her. I have to take a photo of this. I'm sorry, baby.
I'm going to
She's
see how people in the
beautiful.
comments are doing well done photographs of the cat. Sorry, Naomi, I outed the fact that you're in your pajamas. Apologise. Playing Skyrim and drinking wine sounds good. Maybe minus the wine for me. But hi, Caroline. Thank you for joining us. Stephen saying hello and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello. We are all doing well, I think. Feeling fairly relaxed, being that it's nearly Christmas and, you know, we need to still get stuff ready. If you're me and still have like a Halloween cushion behind you, just shows where I'm at in my preparations, you know. We're fine. Everything's fine.
I know. I only just finished my Christmas tree today.
Oh, I mean, my Christmas tree went up end of November just because I couldn't wait any longer. And it's been like all the pieces have been up and down so many times now because apparently when you're nearly 3, that's the most fun thing in the world to undress a Christmas tree and redress it again in all the wrong places. I've given up on making everything spaced out and I'm like, yeah, you can have 5 things on one branch and have it sagging down to the bottom. It's
It's
fine.
part of the charm, you know?
My tree is very charming. That is one word for it. I'll take a picture of it later. It's like Disney exploded on it, basically, or Disney vomited is probably a more accurate.
Can't be angry with that though, can you?
Thank you for joining us, Lynn. I just looked to see what Lakewood was at the end of that sprint because I, for some reason I thought it was Lake's Edge in my head, which is a completely different thing. Lakewood sounds really interesting. Let us know if
Yeah,
you're
I'm just
enjoying
Googling it.
I mean,
Is that the Megan Giddings one? Oh, I've
Yeah,
heard of this.
that's what popped up when I was searching. It sounds interesting, doesn't it?
It's like really creepy, isn't it?
I
don't
think
know.
so.
Maybe I've got that wrong.
Maybe Lynn can tell us about it.
Yeah.
Tidying or listening to music sounds like a good use of your time, Lizzie. Let us know what you're reading. Hi. Thank you for joining us. Right, I'm gonna just mark where I'm up to in the comments. Okay, so I think it may be time for another sprint. I am going to do some more editing. I didn't tell you how I got on. I managed to edit one thing, write a new little thing, and then the way I'm writing this book is really piecemeal. And for some reason, I've never done this before, and I've actually quite enjoyed it in a way. But I'm now going back and filling in gaps, and I've just filled in quite a good gap. And I was like, oh, I didn't know I was going to go there. And my brain just like supplied the information. So I love it when that happens, where you don't have to try and suddenly your subconscious just solves the problem for you right there. So that was good. I think I may have peaked too early though, because that was too good a little moment to have for it to continue. So we'll see how it goes. But I may not read. I may just carry on because I'm actually quite enjoying editing, which is so rare. I'm going to lean into it.
Yeah, do. If it's working, don't leave the magic.
Oh, a couple more comments have popped up, so I'm just going to do those before we go. Excellent. You are so dedicated, Libby. The book would just be calling to me right now, but keep going. Keep practicing. The Megan Giddings one. Yeah, I need to look into that. It looks cool. Cackle. How is it, Lizzie? I keep looking at that one. I haven't read any Rachel Harrison apart from some werewolf ones back in the day, I think. She wrote some werewolf stuff. So maybe I need to pick that one up and dig out my old werewolf stuff. I'm having a big bookshelf sort, and it's amazing how many like books from back in the day, particularly vampire and werewolf things I'm finding, like, you know, the sort of 2000s things like True Blood, like the paranormal romance mystery stuff that was really popular then. I just want to binge read all of them.
I was very obsessed with True Blood.
I've just
the Southern Vampire Mysteries, yes.
They're so good. I've just finished for the first time reading the whole thing because I'd started and then started watching the TV show and got really mixed up.
Yeah.
And I love them.
They are quite different. Yeah, Sookie Stackhouse. What a babe.
Yeah, I know. I love
them.
Have you read the book?
I haven't read them.
Oh, I think you'd like them, Dawn. They're some of them are better than others. I think like some get a bit samey, and you can feel that thing of there are 13 books in the series, and like some of them are definitely a bit more padding than others. But like the last book was so good, I was just like didn't want it to end. Have you read the books, Aislinn, or are you more of a TV show girl?
I watched the TV show, and I read so many. I think I read like 4 or 5 in a row, like just binged them when I was in Canada, and then I had to leave them all behind when we moved home. Yeah, I know. Do this thing in Toronto or in where I was living, where if you don't want something, you just leave it out on the street and people walk by and pick it up. So I left them outside and they were gone in like, I think I went back 10 minutes later and they were gone. So somebody
Whoa.
snapped up, the first 5 books in the
That's a
series.
nice feeling though. Like somebody's loving that series probably now. You've like awoken somebody's fascination with vampires, maybe. Or
Yeah.
refreshing.
Excellent.
Oh, thank you for joining us.
Hey.
Yes, there's definitely actual writing going on these sprints for once. Like I mean, to be fair, I tend to be quite good on sprints just because I'm being watched. But yeah, there's real words going down. Alex is writing, I'm editing. It's all happening. And Dustin is here. Let us know how your writing's going because I know you've been writing during some of the sprints as well. I think Dustin's in a different time zone from us though, so he's usually just getting going with the writing as I'm like winding down, exhausted. So thank you for joining us again. Hopefully the sprints are working for you as they are for us. So we will do another 40 minutes. Are you three all okay for another sprint?
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, if you fancy going or at any point, I will not be offended. But hopefully I'll see you and everybody else at the other side of the sprint.
Excellent.
and I wasn't concentrating then. So I did jump. That's what I get for procrastinating on my phone. Oops, I just accidentally added Alex removed Alex instead of unmuting you. Sorry.
Goodbye.
Until it's getting to the time of day where I'm just like not even functioning anymore. 9:20. I think I've finished writing for the day. I'm going to make a mess if I carry on for much longer. So how did we all get on? Alex, how did you do?
Yeah, so we've got some more of chapter 5 done.
Yay.
A lot of dialogue, mostly just little monsters arguing with each other.
Oh, cute.
Which is, quite typical really of me. So yeah, it was good fun.
I like the sound of it. Do you enjoy first drafts?
Oh, I do, and I don't, because I think I'm quite like you. You know what you were saying about going back and editing. That was always my downfall with NaNoWriMo. I don't know if you guys get this, but I always feel like I kind of edit a little bit as I go as well.
Yeah, have to.
Just as part of my process, I suppose. So I am enjoying it though. I am enjoying getting the words down. It's just a big mountain to climb, isn't it? That blank page.
It is. I'm looking at that word count and being like, oh, 10,000 words. No, or 1,000 words. I think it's quite intimidating, isn't it, being at that early stage?
Very much so.
You'll get there. You've done it before. You've done it how many times before? 2 published things. And...
Yeah. I'm feeling very muscly, those writing chops. One book on one arm, one book on the other arm. Get too big for my boots.
Yeah, I'm sure you never will. I don't think you can be an author, and I imagine there are some out there, but it's hard to stay big in your boots when publishing so hard, isn't it? There's always something really to kind of knock you back down. It's like, oh, that went really well. Oh, that didn't great. So yeah, I'm sure it's just, it'll keep you humble, I'm sure. How about you, Aislinn? Did you have a good sprint?
Yeah, I did. I completely read more. I'm 12 and a half chapters into the book now.
Oh,
it's so good. I do need to stop. I need to actually work on the thing for my publisher for the next sprint, but it's going to be really hard to pull myself away because it's just I love her writing so much.
Just reward yourself with a bit of Naomi at the end. So be like, I can sprint for 20 minutes working and then have a little
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Bribery.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Only way I can get through the day. Works with toddlers, works with adults,
Yeah, absolutely.
How about you, Dawn? How's your journaling going?
Yeah, I finished with that quote and I'm leaving it to dry a little bit. Cat stepped in it, so that was fun. Oh. My cat, not cat.
When you said cat, I instantly went to Cat Ellis and I was like, why did you do that? I just associate you and Cat as like a pair.
Yeah, we were just chatting on Instagram. I started faffing around and we were joking that I would just like take a snooze on the live stream and drool a bit for you guys and make sure my mic was really high so I could give you a good snore. Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going to do some Christmas cards now, I think, because I'm a bit behind. So yeah, I'll do some hand lettering.
Impressed that you're even doing them this year. I just went, I don't even know why I'm going to pretend and buy the cards like I normally do because they just sit there. Sometimes I write them and don't send them. This year
I've done that so many years. I've done that so many times. I'm so annoyed with myself.
And then the worst thing is I put them in with the Christmas decorations, go up and I'm like, oh yeah, that's last year's unwritten cards. And I've just rewritten all the cards.
Yeah.
So,
to
or
check
like
you haven't put any
on
money in them.
Yeah.
Don't chuck them without checking them.
Not likely with me, but okay. I'm going to go to the comments and see how everybody is doing. Are you in Washington State? I find that so wild. Like, I know how time zones work. Like, I know the geography of it, but I find it amazing that it's like lunchtime somewhere and feels like the middle of the night here. I know it's not that late, but Justice like I know that. I haven't heard of that. Interesting. And Elena wants to know what we're reading. So I'm editing, not reading, but the things that I've got on the go are Game Over Girl, also like Aislinn by Naomi Gibson. And I'm also buddy reading this, my friend, and The Very Merry Murder Club, which is Christmas murder mysteries, middle grade. It's sort of cute, wholesome and murdery. So it's ticking a lot of boxes. And I'm about a third of the way through that. And it's really fun.
Is it sprayed edges? It looked really,
Yes,
really pretty.
it's stenciled
pretty,
on that
isn't it?
side. I don't know how well you
Wow,
do the frayed top and bottom, stenciled
that is
side.
gorgeous.
The design is
Beautiful.
beautiful. I'll just show you inside. It's all
Wow.
illustrated and stuff. It's lovely.
Amazing.
Oh, sorry, I answered for you, Ashley, and I told everyone what you're reading. Are you reading anything currently, Alex and Dawn?
Would you like to go first, Dawn? Ladies
Sure.
first.
So I'm reading Burn the Negative as a manuscript. I've got it here printed
cool.
out. I was doing
Oh,
that
that's-
last time we sprinted.
That's Josh's,
So,
isn't it?
Yeah, Josh Winning. So it's got lovely design elements. He sent me the finished design thing, but I'd already printed out like 400 pages. So I was like, I'm just gonna read it like this. But it's so good. Do you have this thing that I'm a slow reader, but when a book is really good, I get even slower because I really just languish in it. That's the problem I'm having. It's really, really good. I'm also finishing Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand, which is so cute. It's a middle grade about a girl with like panic attacks and depression, and it's so cute. It's really good. Yeah, so those are the two. And then I've got to do Game Over Girl and The Midnight Game.
Excellent. Yes, they're very good, both. Well, I've definitely finished the Midnight Game. I can tell you 100% excellent. And this one, I'm halfway through or 2/3 the way through. And it's brilliant.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, it's amazing. I just wish I could remember where I was up to because my toddler appears to pull the bookmark out and it's gone. It's not even in. I little look around for it, see if I could put it back in. And no,
You'll like find it in the dog bowl or something.
Yeah, I will.
Like...
he's commandeered a drawer in the lounge, and I do check it every now and again. I checked it earlier, and he like wedged a drink into it. I was like, I've got to check that. It would have just like trickled through.
Motherhood
Like,
is never boring.
Up, like wedged into the drawer. So yeah, honestly, the things I thought he would do, like he can do so many more than I could ever have dreamed. How about you, Alex? Do you have a current read at the moment?
Yes. So I've just finished a book called Let's Roll. It's a guide for newbie DMs, so for Dungeons and Dragons. And that is by a very good friend of mine and an amazing school librarian. His name's Lucas Maxwell.
Oh, I know Lucas.
Oh, he's just absolutely. Lucas is on another level. He is amazing. But the book is absolutely fantastic. I got an early sneaky peek at it. I'm getting a free copy, but I've also pre-ordered one, so I'm going to have one for me and then donate one to my local school. And it's fantastic if you're thinking about getting started in D&D, which you all should, by the way, and then come and play with me, and we'll have a lovely time. Really recommend it. And then at the moment, I am reading Jenny Spangler, Valentine Crow. Jenny is she's a Staffordshire author like me, and this is her author illustrator debut. So she's done a few. I've got them. They're behind Leo and Minna, so I'm not going to be able to fish them out. But it's The Incredible Talking Machine, and another one. The name of it escapes me, but I absolutely loved it. They are really, really brilliant. They're like it's gothic middle grade with like a twist of dark humor. They are very, very good, like Victorian adventures. They're absolutely wicked. And
what was the name of the first one?
So The Incredible Talking Machine. So it's Jenny Spangler, Jenny with an I. And the other one is The Vanishing Trick. That's it.
Oh, cool.
That's
I've heard
it.
of that one.
It is very, very good. I read it actually during lockdown and really enjoyed it because she had her debut in lockdown, which I'm sure would have been a tricky one, as you know, Amy.
I do. I feel that. I don't remember which lockdown it was at this point, but it was during the April 2021 that my debut novel came out when the bookshops were closed. So I know.
Oh man.
A rough
I can smile
experience.
about it now. I'm just like, it is what it is. I did.
It's done so well, though.
Yeah,
it's done so well.
Imagine if I could have gone to visit it in a bookshop. What might have happened?
I know.
And then book 2 came out during all the Waterstones issues, so I don't know what will happen when my next
oh dear.
Like.
Yeah, I'm sensing a curse. Have you visited like any haunted attics recently? Or?
I was going to say, I'm sure I've angered a few entities at various points in my life. It'll bring that to bite me professionally. Says like glancing nervously around the room. I feel like that is the moment for something to like flicker across the camera and me completely unaware.
What's that behind you?
And I was going to say, I'm sitting here with Dawn Kurtagich, like, what is going on?
I'm so tempted.
Did anyone see that? Did Jack
I know.
Skellington just move?
Sarah, I just saw that.
No,
You
it'd be really
blinked.
mean if I did camera shot. Yeah, where's Evie gone? Like, I'm sure Kat was talking about a horror film. That isn't there like a Zoom horror film where?
Oh, it's so good.
What's it called?
Yeah.
I forgot what it's.
Oh gosh, it just escaped me. I'll Google
Yeah,
it.
they're
I
having a
can't
Zoom
remember.
and all this like horrible stuff starts happening.
Oh,
It's so good, and it's really short as well.
is it all over Zoom?
Host. Yeah, the whole thing. It's like you're on a Zoom call. See, like you've got the Zoom screen and you see the mouse and everything. It's so good. It's called Host.
Oh, okay.
I need
To
to
be
watch
fair,
this.
I think a lot of people who get stuck on Zoom calls regularly would quite like something exciting to happen, just to kind of break the monotony. Yeah. You
do
know
get
what? We really
Zoom
need to
fatigue.
liven up this meeting. An angry poltergeist.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
feel like you could like make a Zoom meeting interesting with those behind you. Like if you could have your hands off screen, like all of a sudden they could just be kind of interacting.
I need like some just some strings that I can pull
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
them
do it.
make them move.
Yeah, and just
I
to complete-
know.
Just be leaning forward and all of a sudden like your little creatures in the background start.
Practice your ventriloquy.
Yeah. Do it, Alex. Just get that
Yes.
ready for the next sprint, please.
I should.
Well done. 32 pages. Ooh. Awesome. Christmas romance
Fantastic.
novella sounds fun.
Whoa.
Excellent.
Impressed with how much you've written as well. Can I please have some?
Me too.
Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying Cackle. I really want it. Okay. That sounds really good. It's on my list.
Okay, I'm
already,
adding that
but-
to my list right
yeah,
now.
no, I think I need it.
I always leave these sprints with so many more books to read. I love it. But also, my poor wallet.
Yeah, no. I looked at my bank account earlier and kind of scrolled through it, and every one of them was just a different online bookseller, and I was like, oh, this is bad. There's no sugarcoating this. I've got a problem with buying books.
Yeah.
And I get sent books too, like, so yeah, they just appear every day. There's another book, and to the point where my toddler now goes, oh, look, another book from Mummy, and I'm like, oh, even you spotted this in your too. Like Kev, my husband got a box out the other day, and Nathan was like, more bookshelves. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. We
Oh,
need
dear.
more. My wardrobe is full of books. Like where my clothes should be is just full of books.
I love that. That's so good.
We've just gone down like an IKEA rabbit hole of buying so many shelves, and we can have them delivered to a Tesco near us. It's so easy to just keep buying
Yeah.
more and like squeezing. So I've got no wall space in my upstairs room now. I think it's just books at this point. And there's even shelves now along the top of the door and stuff. So
I'm going to do that.
I love that.
Totally doing that.
that's awesome.
We've got
It's-
Shelf
solid
envy.
stone like walls, so drilling into them is so interesting.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, they're like 2 feet thick, and just you need a special drill and everything, and the noise. Oh man, it's like someone dying, like someone killing a cat.
Oh my god! So you have to do it
Yeah.
all in one go and just brace yourself
Yeah,
if you're going to join
yeah.
people. It does.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know whether you're talking about Jenny's middle grade or Alex's middle grade, but adorable, yes, I would say.
Thank you. I'm going to assume that it's both.
Yeah.
Oh,
is
you
it
legend.
season 2? Yeah,
Brilliant. I'm
I really,
so glad that you're having fun with it.
I really want to try. I just need to like have a bit more of a life balance at the minute. Like when your boy goes to school, maybe I'll learn some new skills. But for now, it's
Yeah.
like mother, write books, repeat is what I do, and go to work a couple of days a week too. I've already read that one.
and maybe if you're lucky, a little bit of sleep.
Yeah, not often at the minute. Unfriended, is that another scary film that we need to watch, or is this Lizzie trying to tell us something?
It's similar to Host, but it's not as good. Host is good. Unfriended is great too, but Host is the one where it's actually the Zoom call.
Cool. Okay. More films to add to the list. Oh, unhauling is so
Oh,
sad. I
no.
think I've done the thing though where I've unhauled probably too much. Now I've got more shelves. I'm probably going to have gaps, but I'll just have to fill them. So
It's good to do around Christmas because you can give them to good homes.
yes, exactly. I do. I like giving books away to schools and charity shops. So I was
Yeah.
trying to think like the people that it's going to, like with Aislinn, like not being too sad that the True Blood books have gone. That They've just been
I tried to give
retelling.
books to a library and they were like, we don't want this shit. Like, get away. I was like, oh, sorry. She was like, you could take it to the school. They'll want it. I was like, okay, we'll do. Sorry.
You can't give
It's
them to
hilarious.
libraries. What is that?
Yeah, it's they have
Savage
they have to
library.
order it. Yeah, they have to order it from,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. They have to order it specifically.
Oh,
Very weird.
well,
I'm
glad
sure a
you did
school would
that.
bite your hand
So,
off.
I know
I
that.
have a
Yeah.
school that
Yeah, I think
I
so.
take things to. Yeah, just
Oh,
turn up
so-
and bother
I
them.
miss reading books at school. I think
I
I,
bet-
still
I
have
bet
a
you're not
couple
bothering.
of books from school.
Can you imagine if Alex Foulkes turned up at your school to donate some books? Like, just, hi, I'm not here to do an event. I'm just making a little cameo. Got some books, I think, oh,
I
okay.
do. You know, I have been known actually just to turn up at the school where I worked for 6 years. I have been known just to sort of turn up there just, you know, when I need to get a really big ad, because they do treat me like Beyonce.
Oh,
You know, you walk in and they're so excited to see you. They're like,
That's
"Whoa!"
so cool.
And then I can't fit my big fat head through the door on the way out, you know.
you just need to sit down
That's
at a
such a good
computer
problem.
again afterwards, and that'll just remind you of like the realities of being an
Then I
author.
slowly shrink and deflate and like turn into a raisin.
Alex author raisin. Oh, I just imagine that would be like a horror movie moment. I'm getting all kinds of visuals. Next
Those are
sprint,
really
and maybe the
visuals.
final one, 'cause I can feel myself slowly losing coherence as I go. And I think at some point I'm going to say something terrible in one of these last sprints just because my filter is gone. It's gone. I don't have
Excellent.
much to
Tell us
begin
about
with.
those projects that
I
you can't
know, I
announce
know.
for 2 years.
No, you're so mean, Dawn. Don't do this. I'm like this close. I think you know about all of them as well. You could drop me in it. Okay, I'm going to go to a sprint and mute Dawn quickly. We'll do 30 minutes for this one. Go to the other side, and we'll see you on the other side. And yeah, I'm going to put Dawn on mute. Bye, everyone. Hello, everyone. How did we do? It has to be better than me. I went and dealt with a woken up grumpy toddler who mumbled "say mummy" in French because he's obsessed since we went to Paris with trying to make Alexa talk French. So he says words and gets her to say them in French and thinks it's really funny. So he said "say mummy" in French and cried for a little bit. And yeah, so he was sort of cute and obviously half asleep. But so yeah, that's what I did. And I did a tiny bit of sewing. I'm doing a little horror cross stitch. So
Oh, I love that.
So I've done a little Chucky so far.
Wow.
And then a little tiny
That
bit
is
from the
so
wheel so far.
cool.
And I'll just show you the box. This is what it's going to look like. So there are all the different characters.
I love it.
Little Lego horror figures.
Oh my
So
gosh. The
That's so
nun.
cute.
I love
Amazing.
that.
it's harder than I thought. The Chucky one took so many colours. Like the back is a complete mess, but I'm having fun with it.
No
so
one needs to see the back.
I'm not showing you the back. It's awful. But how did you get on, Dawn? Did you do some more journaling? Or?
Yes, I wrote Christmas cards.
Oh, yeah,
I read a
that's
tiny bit, and randomly I edited a video on my phone.
Oh, okay, of course
So
you did.
productive.
Yeah, that is productive. That's a lot of things to cram into 30 minutes anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
Cool. How about you, Aislinn?
Yeah, I managed to tear myself away from Game Over Girl and made a bit more progress on the thing I'm working on for my publisher. I just edited what I'd written earlier today, and it's coming together. It's one of those
Good.
things I have to do that it's not that exciting, so I really need to like force myself to do it. So I'm glad that I did. I'm glad you guys are here to
Yeah.
hold me accountable for that. Yeah.
Excellent. How about you, Alex?
Yeah, a little bit more done, chipping away at it. Because we were talking about D&D just now, I've been kind of going over some ideas for my new character in my head as well for a little Christmas game that we're playing next week. So yeah, I've been kind of thinking of some more little character sort of setup things for him as well. Pretty fun.
Have you ever thought of pulling D&D into a book, or is that too spoilery a question? I don't know.
Oh no, I would love to. I think it's just having the confidence, because it's kind of the lore of the world, kind of the established, like the official Dungeons and Dragons lore is, so deep and so complicated, and has so many very, very adamant fans, when it comes to the details and stuff. I think I would be quite nervous, but it's definitely something that I would think about, I guess, maybe in the future. I think I need a few more years under my belt though of actually playing, but I'm having a lot of fun in the meantime.
Cool.
Is any of it copyrighted? I don't think so, but
that's a good question actually. I'm not sure, Dawn. I mean, there's been a big question at the moment with the introduction of like the new version of D&D that's coming out, and some kind of questions being raised around monetization, and kind of because so much of the D&D resources are free and are made by people, for free. I'm really, really unsure kind of as to where that lies. I don't know whether you would need to work with Wizards of the Coast in order to actually, write something with them in collaboration. If they are listening and they'd like to work with me.
Put it out there. Why
yeah,
not?
hell yeah.
I have a friend who did that. She literally wrote a tweet of something that she wanted to do, and the people who could make that happen contacted her. So I feel like you've got to say these things, otherwise it's never going to happen, is it?
Yeah, manifest. I mean, Simon and
Schuster might be okay.
You reckon?
You might be, yeah, because like the Midnight Game, Cynthia's new book, that's a creepypasta, and she didn't have to worry about copyright. So I don't suppose you do. So I don't know.
There's tricky stuff, isn't there? Like I do a lot of the pop culture reference type stuff, and in my first ever Mina draft, my agent and I kind of unpicked what I'd be allowed to say and what I wouldn't be allowed to say, and it kind of came down to quoting stuff that I couldn't do, whereas I could paraphrase
Yeah.
Stephen King as much as you like, but if you want to put a Stephen King quote in, it's only going to cost your publisher quite a bit of money.
Yeah, maybe
so
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I don't know. Like talking about D&D might be a different thing than actually using. I suppose it depends. Are your characters just sitting and playing it and talking about it, or are you actually delving into a world?
Yeah,
And
I mean,
writing a novelization type thing?
Stranger Things is a really good example of this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they are actually taking characters that exist in the game.
Yeah.
And you know, made this character their main villain. I mean, Vecna is an actual character from Dungeons and Dragons.
I know that. That's cool.
So I wonder whether they had to pay for him. I'm guessing they probably did.
Probably.
Although
I'm sure that's someone's property.
You know,
But couldn't you tweak it enough that it's not Dungeons and Dragons, like Basements and Basilisks or something?
Write it down quick. That's amazing.
That's an. I mean, that sounds kind of sexy to me. Basements and Basilisks.
It does a little bit, actually. That's a different kind of book, isn't it?
Aislinn.
That's not where my brain
I like it. I don't think that we can beat that. I'm going to go to comments, but this might be a good place to wrap it up so that we can all go to bed thinking about Basements and Basilisks and see what that does to our dreams. Thank you for that, Aislinn. Oh, Cackle 4 stars. Okay.
Excellent.
All of us need to obviously read that as well.
Yeah.
sounds so cute.
Thank you so much, you three. That was really fun. I knew that you would be a good bunch of people to put together. We didn't even get to talk about that much horror stuff. We delved into vampires a little bit early on, but maybe we need to do this again and we can kind of talk about other things as well.
I'd love to do it again. It's
Yeah,
so fun.
absolutely.
Yes, please.
Just kind of become a regular now, Dawn, at this point.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hi, me again.
I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, thank you, Alex and Aislinn and Dawn. You're all welcome. Whenever you like, and if you feel it's productive, then feel free to pop on, because I just feel like there's nothing like it. Sometimes I do an extra one in a week just because I'm like, I need some productivity tonight.
Yeah.
It's really motivating. But
thank you all.
I come back and watch these on YouTube. If I've missed them, I'll come back and stick them on just while I'm working because they're really helpful.
Oh, thanks. I do that with other people's as well. Quite often, if I need some focus on a night, I search and see if anyone's doing one live. And if not, I like watch other people's. I don't watch my own generally because I can hear my own voice, you know. But
that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, like sometimes my husband, like I try and watch my own YouTube videos back just to check them beforehand, and he'll say, "Oh, will you watch this bit for this particular thing?" And I just sit there like, looking at yourself on screen, hearing your own voice played back to you. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I think, that was Lizzie was last comments. I think we're going to stop there before we get any more and say good night. And hopefully you will join us next time. And hopefully the three of you might join me on screen at some point in the near future as well.
Absolutely. Sleep tight, you guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.